Hi, this is Tim Halbach from the National Weather Service in Milwaukee with part 6 of Storm Spotter Training for 2016 with some observer challenges that you might see when you're out there looking at storms. So some of the things that you might run into, light, how much light you have to look at the features in the storm, some of the dangers you might see when you're out there, trying to distinguish between the storm types, and just your overall experience. With the more that you see, the more experience that you get. Something that occurs is with tornadoes, they can become rain wrapped, where the tornado will be sitting there, you'll be watching it, you're on the southern side of the storm, and a curtain of rain will get pulled up in front of it that kind of masks your view of what actually is reaching down to the ground there. Is there a tornado there? You can kind of make it out in this picture, but can you confirm whether or not that's in contact with the ground or not? So something that makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to see what's actually out there. Here's another one from Bancroft, whether or not you can make it out. Here's all the rain in here, and there's a tornado that's occurring in there, but fortunately you can't, unless you've actually seen the tornado or the rotation, you can't report that there's a tornado there because you really can't see what's actually happening. We do get funnel clouds on days where, as you can see with this, there's no big storm with it. And these are days where we're not expecting to get the actual funnel cloud to make it all the way down to the ground or cause any kind of tornadic type damage. So on these types of days, you can report the funnel clouds, and we'll kind of compare it to the environment, what we're seeing on radar, and assess whether or not it's worthy of a tornado warning or not. But most times, probably 99.9% of the times, this will not cause for a tornado warning on these kinds of days. Virga commonly gets called in as a funnel cloud. This is just rain that dries up before it hits the ground. And as you can see, it kind of looks like a funnel here, but if you're watching it, there's no rotation to it. It's just rain that's coming out of the cloud and drying up before it hits the ground. So be sure you know what you're looking at the time. The rain shafts, this is just where the rain's actually making it all the way down to the ground, but might look like a tornado here if you're just kind of driving around and you see this showing up. All that is just rain that's going down to the ground. So watch for that violent rotation with the clouds here and determine whether or not it's a tornado, funnel cloud, or if it's just something just like a rain shaft like this. Scud clouds, these are just low-hanging, kind of ominous looking clouds that are dark, hanging underneath the bottom part of the storm that's going up, kind of feeding the updraft into the storm. But these are not funnel clouds. We get a lot of false reports of funnel clouds or tornadoes from these types of clouds. So just watch it. Just because they're moving doesn't mean that it's a funnel cloud. You have to watch for rotation. This is just air that's going up into the cloud or thunderstorm here, and that's not rotation or something that you would want to report in. In southwestern Wisconsin, there have been a technical term here, scud bomb, where these tornado-looking like features show up where there's no rotation, there's no damage or debris that occurs from them, but you see that and it's just kind of dragging along the ground. It looks like a tornado, but if you were to watch it, there's no rotation with it. It's just a cloud that's hanging off the ground there. So watch for that. That's happened twice in the last 10 years or so here. So be careful with what you're seeing there and try to take some video if you can. Here's an example of outflow dust where the downburst, the air from the ground, from the thunderstorm, is hitting the ground and kicking up dust in farm fields. And one of the things we tell you to look for with tornadoes is debris that's on the ground and whether or not there's a rotation from the bottom part of the thunderstorm that's making it down to the ground or not. And you have to watch this debris to see if that's rotating or not, or if it's just being dust that's kicked up because there's winds that are coming out of the storm and blowing that up. So again, the terminology, tornado, the rotation is making it all the way down to the ground here, whereas with the funnel cloud, the rotation is just staying at the base of the cloud here, and it's not in contact with the ground. So when you report, be sure to know the difference between what you're communicating to us. That funnel cloud, it's still up at the base of the cloud. Tornado, it's in contact with the ground. Again, like I said, watch for debris. You can see the rotation here. There's debris that's getting kicked up from the tornado, but you can see the condensation funnel doesn't make it all the way down to the ground here. But that technically is a tornado because the winds are making it down to the ground. You can see them right in there. So with this, you can kind of make out that there's a funnel here, but trying to tell whether or not that's in contact with the ground is difficult. But there is some kind of rotation that makes it down to the ground here that does end up causing some power flashes here. So with the winds, from the tornado making it down to the ground, it causes trees or the power poles themselves to be hit by that wind, and it causes the power flashes. So in the nighttime, that's a good thing to be able to look for if you're trying to determine if it's lightning or if that wind is actually making it down to the ground or not. Storm spotting at night can be very dangerous. Even if you're very experienced with storm chasing and spotting, it can be very difficult to get a gauge on which way a feature might be moving, especially if it's a large tornado. The only thing that's really going to help you out is if there's lightning that's flashing in the background of where the tornado is, or if there's any kind of power flashes as well. So those are the only two things you have to go on. So most people, if they are going to do this, they have some sort of radar support to know where the rotation is going and how strong it might be.
Yep, big mass tornado.
So this is from down in Pampa, Texas, from Adam Lucio from down in, he's a storm chaser in northern Illinois. They were down looking at this storm that was down in Texas there. Look how much time lapses before you can actually see any kind of flash from lightning or power flash from some of the buildings here. There's a big tornado that's right in here as this thing is coming through. You'll see kind of at the end here where they actually slow it down, where you get a little bit longer idea of what this tornado looks like here. But you don't have a whole lot of time there to make a judgment call on which way that tornado is going. So most of the times it's best just to stay safe and stay out of the way of the storms if you can.